They was not scared of Suge Knight. They was terrified of Suge Knight.
Right.
I mean, terrified.
I know.
No. To death.
To death. Wow.
Suge Knight's name and stature were one of intimidation and crippling fear, and he made use of that efficiently to dominate the rap game. Back in the day, everyone knew his name meant trouble, no matter who you were or what you achieved or how much security you had. And sometimes, if you were up and coming, he would just show up and you'd have to do everything he said. And that is exactly what he tried with 50 Cent. But unfortunately, his attempt to intimidate 50 backfired. And now, 50 is finally revealing what happened that day and how Suge ran like a rat. Now, we all know that 50 has never been one to back down from something, and back when he was up and coming, he was still the same. I'm sure that wouldn't be surprising to many of y'all. The man was 9 whole times and somehow survived. Why would he ever be intimidated?
He showed up in the club video. He came, it was like, Suge's outside, Suge's outside. Everybody like, he was running, dropping shit, like, man, everybody going, I'm in front of the camera like this.
Now, if you scroll through Suge Knight's Wikipedia page, he is described as a former record executive and a convicted felon in the first few sentences. His life in the music business was shrouded in various criminal activities over the years. Suge started his career as a concert promoter and a bodyguard for various celebrities like Bobby Brown, and this gave him access to the inner workings of the music game. After some time, he decided he wanted a piece of the action, so he began his music publishing company in 1989. Suge was well known for his huge ego and the fact that he didn't take no for an answer. You either concur with what he wanted or face the consequences. A perfect example of how Suge handled business was how he dealt with Vanilla Ice, a hotshot artist in the 90s. Mario Johnson, a client of Suge's, was a co-writer of Vanilla's smash hit single titled Ice Ice Baby. Suge believed his client deserved a good slice of the profit, so he paid a visit to the Beverly Hills Hotel where Vanilla Ice was staying at the time. Sources claim he went in with 6 men that night and they roughed up Vanilla's team badly. Then Suge took Vanilla to the balcony and threatened to throw him off the 15th floor.
Suge took me out on the balcony, started talking to me personally. On the balcony, high above, like 15 floors. He had me look over the edge, show me how high I was up there. You scared? I needed to wear a diaper on that day.
I'm sure y'all can imagine what happened next. Vanilla signed off part of the publishing rights and paid royalties he claimed to be worth over $4 million at the time.
So you signed away part of your publishing, which was worth around $4 million. Now, At the time, more now, and this money actually was the seed money that launched Death Row Records.
Correct.
Eventually, Suge got to meet with several members of NWA, a rap group on top of their game at the time. Suge heard one of the members, Dr. Dre, wanted out of the group and the label. Suge saw it as a huge opportunity, so he did what he did best, making things happen his own way. In an interview with Mob James, a close ally of Suge Knight, he revealed he was there in person the day Suge went into Ruthless Records' office to rip up Dr. Dre's and the DOC's contract, and even got a check from Jerry Heller, NWA's manager at the time.
We went in there, Suge said, I need to get Mr. Layton contracts.
Okay, so this is Ruthless Records office.
This is Ruthless, yeah, they office.
Okay, and Jerry Heller was there?
Jerry Heller was there.
So, but Jerry's in the room with this big Suge Knight guy.
Just them two. Suge got a check out of him, and he got Dre. He got their contracts out of Jerry's cabinet or whatever the case would be. Easy, he couldn't get.
Okay.
After the success of getting Dr. Dre and the DOC out of their contracts with their label, Suge became even more infamous. He was now well known in the industry as the man who gets things done no matter what. In 1991, Suge, DOC, and Dre co-founded the label Death Row Records.
Death Row can be bigger than Motown or Sony or Warner Brothers.
Death Row is going to be the biggest record company there is.
The master plan was to take over the world.
Suge wanted Death Row to have a lasting impact on the hip-hop industry, a feat he relatively achieved. Shortly after the label was created, they got a distribution deal with Interscope Records, and they built a label that shook the whole hip-hop industry to its core. Death Row released some of the greatest albums ever in rap history. No one can tell the story of the hip-hop evolution of gangster rap without mentioning Death Row. Their impact was that huge. Under Death Row Records, Dr. Dre released his iconic album The Chronic in 1992, an album that went on to be a classic. Just about a year later, another artist from Death Row, Snoop Dogg, released his own album, Doggy Style, another instant classic that took the industry by storm. The album debuted at #1 on the Billboard Top 200 chart and never looked back. But that wasn't the end. In 1995, Suge made a deal with Tupac, who had served 8 months out of his 3-year sentence for an charge. Suge Knight settled Tupac's $1.4 million bail bond, and in return, Tupac signed with Death Row Records. Soon as he was out, Tupac released his evergreen album, All Eyes on Me, in 1996, under the label's imprint. The album debuted at #1 on the Hot 200 charts too. 2 CDs, 27 tracks, and one of the most seminal albums in hip-hop history. That was the makeup of a record that went on to sales in America alone of 10 million. Tupac's All Eyes on Me debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 on March 2nd, 1996. All of his enormous success was achieved in the space of 6 years, and Death Row Records was on a roll. Several media sources claimed Death Row was raking in at least $100 million a year. The level of success Death Row Records achieved in such a short space of time resulted in the significant rise of Suge's influence. He became powerful, but unfortunately more violent. Suge started having serious run-ins with the law. He was sentenced to 5 years probation in 1995 for the Stanley Brothers 3 years prior. Suge also dissed other label execs any chance he got.
Any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
Suge and Death Row Records were infamously known for being an aggressive group. There were rumors that Suge was affiliated with the mob Piru Bloods, and many of the people he hired for Death Row were actually gang members. This prompted Dr. Dre's decision to call it quits with the label in 1996 over a contract dispute. Dr. Dre went on to create his own label, Aftermath Entertainment, and he signed the man who went on to become hip-hop's best-selling artist of all time, Eminem. Dre's label became huge, and they became direct competition to Death Row Records. Aftermath became even bigger after Eminem brought in a raw gem from South Jamaica, Queens, New York named Curtis James Jackson, popularly known as 50 Cent. Eminem heard 50 Cent's Guess Who's Back mixtape and became enthralled with his potential. He went on to sign him to his label, Shady Records, a subsidiary of Dr. Dre's Aftermath imprint.
My manager gave me a copy of Guess Who's Back. Within the first couple of songs, I was like, yo, he's back. At that point in time, I think we had found out that he wasn't signed yet, so we have a chance to maybe do something with him. Let's try to see what's up. So I think the first time I met 50 was at a release party. We met him. I think we talked in the back room, right? Every song he was doing was so crazy there was nothing to get rid of. There was nothing that we could even say, oh, that would be cool for a mixtape. I don't know if we really set out to create anything. It was more, let's just make the best music that we can make. Patiently Waiting was one of the first beats I sent Fifth, actually.
After 50 Cent was signed, he made full use of the opportunity. He made sure to cement his name in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame as one of the best to ever do it. He went on to become one of the biggest artists of the early 2000s. His album, Get Rich or Die Tryin', debuted at #1 on the Billboard Hot 200 charts and has since been certified 9 times platinum, making it one of the most successful rap albums of all time. Seeing how fast 50 was growing, Suge decided to pay him a visit. Now, some say Suge wanted 50 on his label, and some sources say he went to send warning shots to Dre, just like he did with Vanilla Ice. And it was while 50 Cent was shooting the iconic video of In the Club that he had his biggest run-in with Suge Knight. Suge Knight arrived at 50 Cent's video shoot in a typical Suge fashion. Several sources at the scene claimed Suge came with a crew of 30 Mexicans, which resulted in people running helter-skelter because they didn't know what might go down. The only man not running was 50 Cent. He stood his ground face-to-face with the boogeyman of the West Coast. Some even claimed 50 was armed to the teeth, ready for whatever. Suge was surprised at how intimidating 50 Cent was and how unafraid he was of his towering presence. And seeing how 50 didn't budge and how he was taunting him, he knew this was a man he shouldn't have messed with.
He showed up to the In the Club video shoot. He came, it was like, Suge's outside! Suge's outside! Everybody like, he was running, dropping shit, like, man, everybody going, I'm in front of the camera like this.
This would turn out to be the last encounter between 50 Cent and Suge, who is now serving a 28-year jail term for a hit and run. And even to this day, Suge is out here talking about everyone and their business from his prison podcast, but he never speaks up on 50. And this is what the internet had to say about Suge being afraid of 50 Cent. 50, what a man. He wasn't about to let another man punk him. He stood his ground like he was supposed to, a fan wrote. Someone else wrote, Suge wasn't a tough guy. He was a coward forward with size and backup. Do you think Suge was actually afraid of 50, or is there more to the story? Leave your comments below, and don't forget to watch this other video.